Hi there! Today I want to talk to you about this. Grow cruelty-free meat. Why is this a problem? In my opinion? Because it implies that every other kind of meat is not cruelty-free. Before we get into this, I want to say I do not care what you eat. I think everyone can make their own decisions. If you watch my videos, you know that I like having everything in balance, and it applies also to the meat eating. I think it's better not to overdo it with the eating of the meat or not eating of the meat. I think it should be balanced. Anyway, I do not want to get into comparing vegan styles of life, vegetarians or omnivores. I want to talk about the cruelty-free meat. I'm sure you also have a strong opinion about this, so feel free to write it in the comments. Just before you do it, keep in mind that I want to have a discussion, not a witch hunt. So don't be mean, don't be hateful, express your opinions. First, before I get into the cruelty-free meat, I was thinking about this for a long time. Every time when I want to do a weird video like this, I think about it for days or weeks. In this case, it was weeks before I even considered making this video. But I think this is something we should talk about. First, I want to talk about death itself, because I think that is a big part of this kind of discussion. People avoid talking about death. It is something very scary, something unknown, and for a lot of people it is unnatural that someone just dies. And when you're not used to talk about it, it is much harder when it comes. I think talking about death and learning how to deal with it is best summarized by Dylan Moran.
Which thing that dies do you want?
I have to say, dealing with deaths of my pets made me accept death as a natural part of our lives. I'm not gonna say it was easy to deal with the deaths of our family members, because it never was, but I feel like it didn't surprise me that much. Like, it's just how it is, just how life works. At the end, there's death. That's how it is. I think this is one part of shaping the opinion on this. And the second thing, there's a lot of things. But the second thing I want to point out that nowadays grown-ups did not have to prepare their own food until they were like 20 years old. There's a lot of people like this. I'm not saying you are like this. I was not like this. I was preparing my foods. I was helping around the house. But there are people, when I was teaching at the university, I taught the first aid, and people asked me how it feels to stop the bleeding, how it feels to touch the flesh. And I tried to compare it to like meat when you prepare food. And there were so many students in their 20s, between 20 and 25, who have never seen a raw piece of meat. They didn't know how it looks like, how it feels like. They never had to touch it because they didn't have to prepare their own food. So I think if I haven't seen meat until I was 20, I would think it looks weird. Anyway, I have known several vegetarians or vegans in my life. They all eat meat now, I think, except for one. Anyway, not the problem, not important. I know there are some normal people among them, But let's face it, the fanatics are always louder than the normal people. And they want to pick a fight. They want to make you not eat meat. They want you to be the bad person for eating the meat, for being cruel to animals because you eat meat, for being not considered, for and they're like, oh, and if your dog dies, will you eat him too? And if your husband dies, will you eat him too? And okay, this is too much. That is too much. But the most common question always was, if you had to hunt a rabbit yourself and kill it, or if you had to kill a chicken so you could have the meat, would you do it? And to that I say my response is, if I knew how to hunt the rabbit, or I know how, I just never tried it. Anyway, not important. If I knew how to kill the chicken without causing it pain, like without suffering, if I knew how to do it, I would do it. My only fear is to cause the animal suffering that is unnecessary. And I don't know how you have it in America, but in Czech there is a law which says you have to have a license if you want to kill your own animals. You have to go through, it's a course or a class or something, and you need to know how to put to death your animals without suffering before you can do it legally. Even at the lab, we have had the whole class, one semester, where they taught us how to treat the animals, how to take care of the animals, all the laws, and also how to put them to death legally without them suffering. So these animals wouldn't suffer at all when it comes to the death part. This is gonna be a long video. I hope you're prepared for it because I'm just at the beginning. I'm starting from a wide angle because I think this issue is not just about one thing in The Sims. That it's a little deeper than that. So let me get back to my notes. So what we established is death is natural part of the life. Putting animals to death can be achieved without suffering. In the wild, predators and omnivores also have to get their food and they eat meat. It's not something unseen. I did not want to compare vegans and vegetarians and omnivores, but I have to a little bit. Because right now I'm trying to avoid terms like normal or natural when it comes to eating meat. But I really believe that meat is supposed to be part of a healthy diet. But I also think that vegans and vegetarians often have healthier lifestyles. Like for example, they think about every meal they eat. That is a big difference, and I think everyone can learn something from the other lifestyles, even though he doesn't have to accept it for himself. If you watch my videos, you know that I love vegan and vegetarian food as much as I love like omnivore food. I'm trying to not to say normal food, but like things with meat, you know. For example, right now today I am having couscous with cheese and beans and corn and peas, which is vegetarian safe meal, and I love it. It's like one of my most favorite foods. My other favorite food is homemade hummus with veggies, which I make myself, and I'm making it just the best. And that is actually vegan meal. So what I'm trying to say here, I'm not trying to attack meat-free lifestyles, but cruelty-free meat is attacking one of the lifestyles. That's what I'm saying. As I said at the beginning, eat whatever you want. Just please think about what kind of nutrition and vitamins you need, your body needs, and if you're not getting them from the food, get some supplements. That's sometimes people just don't eat things because it's popular at the time or because they believe it's more natural or more healthy, and they actually don't get the vitamins they need and their body can get in serious troubles. I think that's a whole new discussion about what kind of vitamins and nutritions body needs, so let's just move forward over here. And there's one more thing. You could argue that the cruelty-free meat refers to the conditions in which the animals are kept in. Now, this is a very serious issue. It could be real bad, but it is changing. At least at our country, like a story time. 2 years ago, we visited a cow farm. It's a place where cows are kept and they take care of them and then they sell the meat and the milk. And man, these cows had better conditions for living than me at the time. If you want to stop the cruelty on animals, change their life conditions, I think the way to do it is to support small farmers. I try to do that when I have a chance and money because it's more expensive. I buy meat from local farmers instead of a big corporation. I think that's the way how to do this. And even in The Sims, you have the opportunity to catch fish to get your own meat, and that's basically cruelty-free meat as well. That's why I think it's not just about the living conditions. I think it's about the death itself. And it feels like there is some vegan or vegetarian fanatic inside of EA who is trying to promote the vegetarian lifestyle by making every other meat which is not grown from the planter, it's not cruelty free, so it's cruelty full, or it's cruel meat, or it's, I don't know, it's bad. Why do I think this is important? Why do I think we should talk about this? Why did I make this video? Because there is a lot of people, kids, teens, even young adults who play this game, and like it or not, every small thing in the game shapes opinions of the people who play it. And they could name it vegetarian safe meat or plant-based feed, or I could give you 10 more examples for a different name. But they chose the meanest and the most offensive way to call it, the cruelty-free meat. Anyway, this is my long video about cruelty and meat. Share your opinions in the comments. Please be nice and respectful. Leave a like if you also think the cruelty-free meat is not the greatest name. You don't have to agree with me on all my opinions, but I think this is not the name that should be in the game. And subscribe, because I usually don't do videos like this. I usually play Sims. Love you. Bye bye.